Hello everyone, this video clip is for all of you who are interested in science and research. Jazeel goes more into his decision to study cancer biology and the research that he's working on right now. We also dive into the nature of doing scientific research and how there's such little immediate gratification in that field. In the midst of that lack of immediate gratification, we also touch on the definition of success for Jazeel in his life right now and how that's been changed by doing research.
During our master's program, we actually had a component of the master's. To get your master's degree is to perform thesis work for 6 months. So you're supposed to go into a lab, work there for 6 months, submit a dissertation, and it's a requirement for your degree. And that is when I did research for the first time in my life. And I actually really enjoyed it. And that is when I thought that, I'm like, if research is actually this much fun and it gives you that flexibility that, you can do things the way you like them, it actually gives you the opportunity to contribute to original knowledge that is going to go out in the world. And I felt that that's actually really good. And another thing that when I thought about it was that if I came here for a master's program, it was going to be like really expensive. And I'm like a PhD here, I don't have to pay, they're paying me for working here.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was secondary, like financial aspects. My parents said that you don't need to worry about anything, like we'll take care of it. So you just go for what you want. But then I knew, like, after carrying out my research work at one of the cancer centers in Mumbai, I was just in love with research, and I was like, I can't wait to go back and like have my own project and do my own thing. So like, I think that is when I made up my mind that I definitely want to do research. In my second year of undergrad, we had this program in undergrad that was called a Science Honors Program that actually introduces you to different, like, just the basics of what research is. And I worked on a project with, like, a very small scale project in my college, and at the end of it, my mentor, who was also my head of department at the time, the chair of the department, she told me that one of my biggest drawbacks in doing research was that I was too impulsive. She said that you get excited so quickly about something that you see, like you just start jumping and like, you don't, like, he's like,
wow.
like, you need to be a little more calm, you need to be a little more thorough in what you're doing and stop getting so jumpy. But even today, like, I feel like sometimes if I see an experiment, like, I will just jump on it, And that was something that was told to me by two different people.
Okay.
When I went to meet them before coming to the US, I asked them, like, ma'am, I'm like, you're the one who knows me for, like, I've done research with you, and I'm like, what is your advice to me before I leave for grad school? And she's like, just be less impulsive. That's all. She's like, because I've seen you for 3 years, like, you've studied with me, and he's like, that is your only drawback, because there is no scope for impulsiveness in research. He's like, research, you have to understand that it's a long journey. It's not something that happens in a day, in a week, in a year. No, it's something that takes a lot of time. So it's like, just be patient. Try and be patient. But
yeah.
I still say that is something that is a quality that I just do not have.
Okay.
Patience. Like, I'm trying to learn, but it's something that I just don't have.
I want to talk to you more about the research process, but first, why did you decide, or how did you know you wanted to do cancer biology?
So it started off very early on in my life when I lost my grandmother to stomach cancer. And that was the first time that I didn't understand what cancer was, but I was very, like, my grandmother, I was very close to my grandmother, and I don't think I was very old. I think I was less than 10 years old when she passed away. And that is when I first thought that, I'm like, what is cancer? Like, I want to try and understand what it is. But then after I came into high school and maybe in the first couple of years of undergrad, the reason that I got so fascinated with cancer biology was because the more I read about what cancer is, I started to realize that as a disease, it is one of the smartest diseases that is out there. Like, because everything that humans have been trying since 1950 to try and eradicate this disease or to try and combat this disease, cancer as a disease just knows how to, like, outwit humans and come back. Like, it is something that is so smart. Like, it just does that, So I was, like, so fascinated that what is actually happening, like, how is it doing all of this, So as something that you want to explore, it seemed like there were so many possible avenues to explore in the field of cancer biology, and the field of cancer biology is extremely vast. Like, I'm just, like, doing something that is so minuscule in it, but so that was something that I was actually fascinated with, was with the biology of the disease, that, how is it doing what it's doing? And I also realized that it's one of, like, it's a disease that is probably the second greatest, it has the most, second highest death rate, I think, after cardiovascular disease. So I'm like, it's something that is affecting a lot of people in the world. So obviously it's, my research is actually going to be hopefully beneficial to treating a lot of different humans later on, because a lot of people are still going to get cancer eventually. It's not like the disease is going to stop manifesting in the next 5 years. So that is why I decided that, like it seems like an extremely fascinating avenue to explore, and it also has capacity for therapeutic intervention. So I was like, sounds like something that it seems pretty interesting. So
And does the research process, because it seems so painstaking from my perspective and very methodical, but also it doesn't seem like there's a lot of immediate gratification when you're doing, like oncolytic research. And just, do you think, is that something that you had to deal with when you first started? You probably expected it coming in, but is that something you have to battle with in your research, not seeing something immediately pay off? Or?
So in all honesty, I did not know what to expect from research when I came into grad school. I had no idea what grad school was all about. I honestly had no idea. And when I came into research, because I had worked in a lab before, I knew that results were not something that you're going to get in a week or in a month. And even in my own current research at the moment, I just feel like all the doors are locked at the moment. Like, what do? Like you just don't have any. But then, like once you talk to other people who've been through the process, once you talk to different established scientists, they will all tell you the exact same thing, that everyone's path was exactly the same. It's not that anybody figured it out all in one day. They all had to struggle, they all had failed experiments, they all tried a lot of different things and did not achieve something. But one of the best advices that I actually got from a very eminent scientist that I had the privilege of talking to a few months ago, he said that in science, more often than not, you're going to fail rather than succeed in your experiments. So the trick is that you just keep doing so many different kinds of experiments that you're going to stumble upon something always, and that is going to probably provide a direction for you to go forward in. And I do realize even at this point that there is a lot that I still need to know, I still need to explore on my own research, and it's not going to come right away, but I'm not that scared. Like I was extremely scared about a year ago that, am I going to be able to go through this entire process? But I think now, after spending 2 years in grad school, about a year and a half in my own lab, I've started to embrace the fact that that is how research is. That, you have to be patient. It's something that is required, and if you're resilient and if you're strong enough to withstand everything that it throws at you, then at the end of it, you will be successful. And successful doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make a lot of money, but you're just going to be successful in the fact that you know that you've actually achieved something in putting fresh knowledge out there in the world, and something that is probably going to impact the field of research that you're working in. So.
Thank you very much for watching. I will have my full video conversation with Jazeel linked in the description box below. You do not want to miss some of the things that he has to say, so please take a look at that. In addition, I will link the podcast that I made from the conversation Jazeel and I had. That will be linked on iTunes and SoundCloud. And feel free to visit the Conversationalist online to view past conversations that I've had with individuals varying from the inventor of the first commercial microprocessor to an acclaimed British artist to Jazeel, who we have on right now. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.